Hello, everybody! Welcome to the amazing Radio Redux! I am your host and ringmaster, Kevin. And I am joined on this particular show by There's a rag doll over there holding a centipede and not being very happy about it. It's Urtheart!
Yarg.
And there, our signature character. A diminutive gesture. Who'll bite your kneecaps off. It's Skyblaze.
True, I will.
Probably definitely has the sharp teeth for it. So.
That's how shows depart Radio Sega, by the way. They're just the host is put into a locked room, and then through a hatch in the ceiling, Skyblaze descends. You know that scene in Jurassic Park where they feed the goat to the raptors, you know? Or the cow, whatever it is, the raptors at the beginning, and there's just a series of just like movements and noises, and then the remains of the cage system is pulled up again. It's just that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Except it's in reverse order, surely.
Oh yeah, kind of the other way around, yeah. But you know, it is what it is, and what it is another Radio Redux show. Greetings, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Are you surviving? If not, you will not have answered this question.
To be fair, at the time, while it is still a heat wave at the time recording, it's probably still a heat wave at the time this is going out.
Yes, probably.
By the sound of it.
Who knows?
I might even be at Kitacon by the time this is going up.
Ooh.
That's at Warwick University in August, so
yes, I think I've actually been to that.
Warm.
I think I've been to that one before.
Are you down to do anything for this one, or is it just a visit?
I've applied for a DJ slot, but they've not fully sorted out the who's doing the parties yet.
What?
But
Okay.
I quite often get a slot at Kitacon, so we'll see.
Please hire Skyblaze for all of your needs. In terms of game stuff, just in general. They write, they sing, they dance.
I mean, I do two of those things.
This is true. We won't go into the dance one, but we know. We know.
That's
those who've been around know. They all know. Right. Anyway, we're here with plans to talk about stuff. Isn't that right, Urtheart?
Yeah, well, one thing I was actually going to bring up is I've actually been... one of the hardest things I find throughout the year is I have to play enough games to do a Game of the Year show at the end of the year.
I know, it's the only thing that's making you play video games is this one goddamn show.
Well, okay, here's the thing. It's the only thing that's making me play new video games. Because otherwise I would just stick with... I've got so much of a backlog. It's like...
mood.
I literally have a pile of PlayStation 4 and 5 discs that are still in their wrappers that I have not opened yet.
Soon to be relics, everybody. Games in a game case.
Let's get back to that one later.
Yeah, let's get back to that in a bit.
I thought I'd at least go through one of the ones I've done recently, which is Lego Batman. Because it's a very interesting one, because first of all the Lego games are done by Traveller's Tale, which, you know, Sonic fans will have a memory for in the past, but they have literally been relegated to, you're the Lego studio now.
You are in the Lego mines.
Yeah, but this time they had help from the Arkham series developers, Rocksteady.
That's where they got sent to the mines as well.
I mean, yeah, okay, that does make some sense, but...
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. The combat is much more Arkham-like, so it's actually... it feels quite good. It's still simplified, which it should be for a kid's game, let's be fair. But it does work quite well. Interestingly, like, very start of the game, it gives you 3 difficulty options. One of them is literally like, oh, yeah, the combat's easy, you regenerate health. This is just for, like, you want to have fun. And then it goes up to like, oh no, this is like Arkham Asylum level of difficult combat. It's like, okay, sure. But what's quite interesting is generally, obviously, the Lego games have taken a lot of stuff from films. The previous Lego Batman and DC Villains ones have been more original affairs. This time they've actually done. It's a weird mix. It's a weird mix of semi-original stories trying to fit major movie moments in. And it's like going through the history of Batman kind of thing. So you start off Bruce Wayne as a young adult getting the shit kicked out of him by Falcone's mob, and going and being offered by Ra's al Ghul to go train as a ninja, and there he meets Talia, and then he finds out Ra's is evil, etc. I think that's from Batman Begins.
There's but well, it's a little bit of Batman Begins, a bit of Dark Knight Rises there.
Yeah. But then, like, basically, as the game goes on, what it does, it unlocks characters in every chapter, but they're usually related to very specific scenes in movies. So, for instance, the first chapter is about the rise of the Joker and the Penguin, specifically from the old school Batman film. So your partner for that is Catwoman.
66. Are we talking about the
No
Returns?
80s. Okay, 80s. Right.
The 80s one, yeah, with the weird leather Catwoman with scar markings over it.
Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes, that one.
Meow.
And you don't go through the entirety of the movie, but very specifically, it focuses on the scene of Joker at the parade. Near the end of the film, but obviously introduced Catwoman, and then it goes on to I think it's Batman Forever.
Yes,
the one with Two-Face in.
Yes, Forever. Yeah.
Yes, Forever.
The best
and
one. Yes.
It's specifically the scene where he meets Dick Grayson, and
well, that's unfortunate.
Well,
that's unfortunate for Dick Grayson. Well, when's he meet Dick Grayson? Well, let's think about that. Also, what's that descending from on high?
Well, okay. So here's the thing: they've made it very family friendly. So Dick's parents don't die, but he decides to go with Bruce anyway.
They get shipped off somewhere.
No. Dick accidentally makes them fall off and ruins the act. So while they're putting themselves back together, Lego style, Dick and Bruce Wayne just waddle off, and then that's when he starts training to become Robin.
That's how that. Okay, so that's it.
I'm just going to kidnap your child.
Yeah, no, pretty much. And that's where you unlock Robin, and basically it just goes through very. So you one of the other you've got Batman Forever with that one. The Riddler is still kind of just the open world riddle challenge. Although you now have two versions of it, because you have the Riddler and you have Clue Master. So
is Kevin going to have like Vietnam flashbacks about the Riddler trophies now?
No, I don't. I didn't mind the Riddler trophies so much.
Yeah, some of them are annoying, but
some of them are very annoying in terms of timing. Yes.
It was the races in
oh god,
Arkham, right?
Yeah, that those were a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
those were a pain in the ass. But it's because you would just get blindsided by something, and half the time you died on those, you didn't actually know why you died.
And also, the Batmobile in that game controlled like a fucking ice cream truck.
No,
I kind of liked it though. I like the idea of it being this ridiculous all-terrain vehicle. Proper ridiculous.
Unfortunately, they're not quite as cool in this game, but you still get loads of different Lego Batman cars throughout the series. But cool. Yeah, there's like Batman and Robin, where you fight Mr. Freeze, or so you get to play as Batgirl. Although oddly, because of various time shenanigans, at that point you stop playing as Batman for a little bit because he gets frozen, and in comes Robin. Except they've accelerated the timeline, and he's now Nightwing, which is interesting And it kind of works because it's like, oh, well, now you've not got Kid Robin, you've got Nightwing grown up, and he's already starting a relationship with Barbara. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if they're trying to shove it into the Lego movie timeline as well.
They reference things a little bit. The other thing is like, because Catwoman's your first partner, even before you meet Robin, Catwoman Selina already knows Bruce's true identity, and is now living in the Batcave with Bruce.
I mean,
so
that's
there's
an
a few
interesting
oddities.
One. That's an interesting one, just from because obviously he does find out at the end of Batman Return. Actually, for like 3/4 of the way through Batman Returns, I should say. So,
but I mean, there's basically they add a new character every chapter, kind of. But what was the next one? But yeah, they even like reference because the Joker comes back in the last scene and references the Heath Ledger Joker instead. Not quite to the same extent, so he doesn't blow up the hospital, although that scene is there. But instead, it explodes a load of paint cans in it.
I was going to say, if they're not killing off the flying grazers, they're definitely not destroying a hospital.
No.
Yes.
What your first? But yeah, it's a bit of a weird Lego game though, because normally with the Lego games you get like a massive roster of characters. This one I think has 6.
Weird.
You have Batman, you have Catwoman, you have young Robin, and then Nightwing, who are technically 2 separate characters. Although, quite honestly, young Robin becomes redundant because Nightwing can do everything young Robin does, but better.
Which makes sense.
You've got Barbara Gordon. You've got I can't remember his first name. Officer Gordon.
Jim
Gordon, that's it.
Jim
Gordon, who is your first partner, to be fair. And you've also got, at the end, you get Talia back with unique abilities. I won't spoil anything else too much. I mean, you've got most of your major Batman villains are in there. There's a few minor villains that appear. There's some very obscure minor villains that also appear during the storyline.
I need to know, is Clock King in there?
Clock King is in there.
Yes!
He's not a major fight, but he does appear in one of the fights.
Damn! I just like Clock King from the Batman originals, from the animated series. I just like Clock King. I don't know why.
To be fair, he appears alongside Calendar Man in a fight, which seems quite thematic. To be fair,
yeah, that's appropriate.
That makes sense. Yeah, but if it's Calendar Man, then it was like Clock King turns up, and then Calendar Man's just like, well, actually, I'm doing something. And let me just check my diary. Hang on, let me schedule this in.
The way you said that just reminds me of the Batman animated series, the one where there's an episode where the Joker dresses as like Batman in a really shitty homemade suit.
So that is your shopkeep. There is a shopkeeper who makes a shop in the Batcave as well as various shops around the city.
Does he wear a fez?
The shopkeeper? No, but he is a character from the Batman.
Kevin might understand that reference.
Mm-hmm.
It is Batmite is your shopkeeper.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What's quite cool is it gives him a reason as to why he brings outfits from other series that don't make sense being in the game.
Yeah,
that really bizarrely makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So
it was going to be him or Mr. Mistpicklick, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's
probably more likely Batmite.
But Batmite is the Mistpicklick in terms of they're both like 5th dimension, aren't they?
Yeah, I think
something
so.
Like that.
But yeah, so the cool thing is every major mission you do unlocks a new outfit for the characters in that mission. Then you can buy more from Batmite. So that while you don't have a lot of characters, you do have a lot of outfits for those characters. The other odd change is red bricks no longer unlock cheats. What they do is they unlock color modifiers for your costumes and your vehicles. So you can tailor major costumes to be like your own color scheme. It's interesting, but it's like, it feels a bit odd, especially as the fact that it's like, okay, now that I don't have like red brick multipliers for studs, there is no easy way of getting a lot of studs to buy everything.
Huh.
So yeah, that's a lot more difficult. I mean, there is definitely some cool outfit. Like you'll unlock all the movie-based outfits you unlock as you go through the levels relating to those movies.
Which figures,
so
right? Yeah.
Although I will say there's a really cool. I don't want to spoil it too much, but Batman's voice kind of changes throughout it, and in the final level, they do this really cool thing where it's like, yes, it's now doing the recent Nolan Batman of the really gruff voice. There's an interesting twist to why that happens. And
just get hit in the throat.
Also, regarding the whole color choices thing, it's like, yes, they understand that glamour is the real end game.
Indeed.
True, but it's still quite restrictive because it's just like a theme you can put over the top. It's not massively customizable. It's a good game, but my biggest criticism is it's really short. I reckon you can finish it in about, if you just go through the storyline, it's about 3 to 4 hours long.
Jesus.
But then there's like 20 hours worth of random side missions to do in the open world. The problem is you need to beat the game to do that, and then it's like, well, okay, why am I doing these side missions? Just to unlock cosmetics?
So it forces you at speed through the story to get to unlock all the other stuff, but at that point you're sort of like done.
So for instance, like one of the big things, so there's when you're going through the Batman and Robin section, you start playing as Batman and Batgirl, but it locks Jim out because part of the plot is Mr. Freeze has frozen Jim Gordon, and the last ingredient to unthaw him is being held by Victor.
So bath salts. Gotcha.
So even when you're in that open world section, you're locked out of Jim Gordon, and you need him to solve some puzzles because every character, bar Robin and Nightwing, who share theirs, has like unique abilities. So Batman has batarangs and a bat claw. Catwoman has her whip, which allows her to rotate things. Sure, and
sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know why that got me there. Just like, everybody listening at home, if you ever need to rotate things in your house, get a whip.
Her second ability is a laser pointer.
Okay, that's funny. That's funny.
Well, which allows you to summon a cat, which then allows you to go into small gaps, and the cats can like press buttons and retrieve keys and stuff.
Now, is it
getting a cat to do that?
Is it the same cat every time? Because isn't it like
Nope. It's whatever local stray is around.
Okay, because there's from a narrative point of view that would actually make sense if it was.
Yeah,
I can't remember what Selina's cat was. It was like Sheba or something.
Yeah.
But...
Although I do laugh that one of Catwoman's outfits, which I think is an outfit that they've had, is just her in like a cat mask and like skimpy clothing. Not like her normal cat mask, like a proper like Halloween cat mask.
That would have been indeed a reference to something, and I can't remember what.
Yeah.
It might be like Golden.
I think
it might be Golden Age. It might even be close to Birds of Prey one, but
almost every outfit is a reference to something, or including some of them are just references to the Arkham Asylum outfits.
Yeah.
Or the Arkham series outfits. The only ones that aren't is they've all got costume party outfits, which are basically outfits they wear in the storyline to a costume party and are purposely not recognizable.
I see.
But you do have to buy them, oddly enough, even though you use them in the campaign. Sure.
It's Bruce Wayne. He probably threw them away afterwards. So buy some more.
Maybe. But then there's a few outfits which I think are like custom designed for the game, which were like pre-order outfits and stuff. So, but I mean, it was an enjoyable enough time. But it's probably my least enjoyable Lego game.
Really?
Just because I don't know if it's because I miss the familiarity of other Lego games, or it's just so short and it feels so like. Because you've only got 6 characters, there's very little variety, and all the missions you can 100% them on the first go through. Whereas traditionally in Lego games, you have to come back in free play mode with all of the other characters you can unlock to get all the abilities.
There's a bunch of conditions in order to.
Yeah, so like in the Star Wars games, like you'll go through the level normally with a Jedi and a droid, but in order to 100% the level, you need a Sith character, you need a protocol droid, you need a tiny character.
It's like a weird Ocean's 11 situation. You have to get,
but it's kind of nice because it means that you can't fully explore the level to start with, and then when you go back, there's more for you to do. Now, admittedly, I've probably been spoiled because obviously the last Lego Star Wars game covered 9 different movies. But then I thought about it, it's like, hang on, we're covering what? The original quadrilogy, the trilogy of the recent films. That's still 7 movies to cover, and they blitz through that. Like, they're trying to connect both worlds, which feels a bit odd, but it's still...
Because they're tonally very different. I can understand why they kind of skimmed over the more recent ones, because they are
they don't
exactly child friendly.
They do try and equally do both, I will say.
Okay.
They kind of do a lot of the recent trilogy at the beginning and the end, and then the quadrilogy's kind of in the middle. But the thing is, because they're having to kid-friendlyify all of it, because let's be fair, the first 2 Batman movies of the quadrilogy aren't particularly family-friendly either. And I think they've done a good job, but it feels like... I think the thing I feel like is they've tried to rush through it rather than what normally happens. They try and spread everything out so they cover as much as possible. And I don't know if that's a licensing issue. I wouldn't have thought so, because it's all Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers own Traveler's Tale, I think, at this point, and Rocksteady. So it feels a bit odd, but if you can get it cheap, it's still Lego. It's still nice, enjoyable, chill time, which is what I bought it for. So, I'm not going to complain too much, but it feels odd. That's the only thing. It just feels a bit odd. Whether it will appear in my top 5 games of the year, probably because I don't think I'm going to get around to playing 5 games this year, but we'll see. But I thought it was an interesting one.
There is one bit from that game which I have seen ad nauseum, which you didn't actually mention, because it keeps appearing on my YouTube Shorts feed, which is the camera system for that game. If you're driving around in the Batmobile, just pancaking stuff, there's a thing where you can go obviously into like free cam and get a nice photograph, as these games often do now. If you zoom in on the actual Batmobile itself, you can obviously go through the front window of the Batmobile to see what is within. If you do so, the driver of the Batmobile is smiling like a lunatic.
Never done that.
As they drive along. And your partner, the passenger, whoever so it is, has a look of absolute terror on their face. And that's set up. That's just all set up. If you just go through and zoom in, literally just like an absolute smile of joy at driving the Batmobile around and just destroying everything.
That. I'm reminded of the bit in Batman Beyond where Terry finally gets to fly the Batwing, and he's like, "This is unbearably cool."
It's a shame the Batwing doesn't make an appearance at all, actually.
Oh,
does it not?
No, but...
Surely it must if you've got the parade section, for God's sake, of 89.
No,
it must do.
No, because instead you construct your own balloon to fly up to the Joker.
What?
And also, so when Joker gets punted off, he lands in a giant cake, so he doesn't die or anything.
So he lands in the Gotham 100 cake. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but interestingly, it changes his makeup to go from the Jack Nicholson version to the Heath Ledger version, which is like, hang on, surely he should get more makeup, not less.
Yes, but it's icing at that point.
Yeah, true.
I did see a clip of them of the art gallery / museum vandalizing. I saw that, which was.
Oh yeah, that's a storyline. That's like early on.
Which is one of my favorite bits.
I will say there's a lovely thing where every time you're playing Batman and Catwoman can just go like in the museum. Catwoman can just nick all the items in the museum, and you get bonus money for it. And Selena will be just like, "Oh, I'll just take this for safekeeping." He's like, "You're gonna put it back, right?" It's like, maybe.
Yes.
Like, and later on, I think he just references it in a cutscene where it's just like, I'm just going to take a detour while you do that. It's like, are you going to steal anything? It's like, well, nothing you need to worry about. It's like, please stop telling me you're obviously going to steal stuff, because then I have to detour to keep an eye on you. It keeps the humor up. It does a very good job of that. I think it does it better than the Star Wars ones. And it's obvious they've got, like, although this is the first time they've really referenced the movies, they still deviate enough from it to put in their own twist on stuff, which is quite nice. Like there's one bit where it's like, let's explain why you don't have Jim Gordon on this mission. And it's literally Batman steals Jim Gordon's Batclaw and gives it to Catwoman. And it's like, you wait here and arrest these people. We're going to go investigate this.
It's like, it's a redistribution of assets.
Yeah.
It's purely a business. It's purely a business decision.
As I said, I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. It feels a bit weird compared to your average. I will also say, I have been playing it on one of the like lower difficulties because I was just looking for a chill game to play while it's been so hot. But all the achievements can be gotten on the lowest difficulty, which is a good thing, in my opinion. Oh, also, because it starts you right from the beginning, you have to construct the Batcave.
That's pretty cool.
Well, that's a Batman Begins thing as well, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, basically. I mean, but the thing is, you can kind of do it as you go along, which is quite nice. The upgrade system seems completely redundant. I will say that, because you just don't get. Again, it's like I've never seen the need to use half of it. It's a very odd game. But anyway, I thought I'd, lighten the mood up with that one.
Indeed. Anyway, speaking of purely business decisions.
Uh-oh.
I've got some bad news, Batman.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news, Alfred. They're not putting games in your games anymore. So Sony, everybody.
Yeah.
Don't worry. The savings on manufacture will be delivered back to the
Okay, I will give Sony one thing.
Couldn't.
I will give Sony one thing. They aren't firing anyone who is working in those factories making discs, because they are repurposing the factories and retraining all staff in them. So, as much as bad news as this is for gamers, I will give them some credit in the department of, at least you're not doing this to make people redundant.
So good news, GameStop employees and game employees.
I mean, they've been.
You'll be repurposed.
Hang on, what game employees?
Oh, sorry, Sports Direct employees. I'll just say that.
Okay, I will tell you for a fact. So I do have a Sports Direct in Bicester, which technically has a game section.
So does the one in Sheffield.
The staff there have basically gone, we don't pay attention to it. We don't care if people nick stuff from it. We don't want it here. Now, admittedly, it's
taking up space where we can put in more socks.
Yes. No, that is genuinely their argument. It's like, no one cares.
Nobody cares.
Support for more sports stuff. Like, nobody in Bicester plays video games.
There isn't anyone. I mean, never.
Hi, but, I wouldn't ever buy from Game anyway at this day and age.
But the last thing I bought from Game was actually my PlayStation 5, and that's because they were the only place in Sheffield that had them in stock at the Black Friday sale price.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Last time I bought from Game, and that was like 3 years ago.
I have bought a few things from Game. So I bought something from Game. I think I mentioned this to you, Kev, because I bought a board game that was on sale, was on a clearance sale down to $5.
Yes, I think you mentioned something like that. Yeah,
but I ordered it online and I had to pick it up from my local Sports Direct. It still cost me $5 to get it delivered there. And it's like, oh, why didn't I just get it delivered to my home? It's the same price. There's reasons I didn't get it delivered to my home, but also, I might as well just pick it up. It's in my local town. Oh my God, was that such a faff? Because they literally went in, they went, we don't understand what you're asking us to do. It's like, look, here's the email saying it's here to pick up. It's like, I didn't realise we did that service. I'll have to go and get my manager. Manager comes in. I'll have to call head office because we don't offer that service here.
What, click and collect?
Yeah.
What?
But then it's like, oh, supposedly it would have come in on normal deliveries, but we would have questioned it and sent it back because it's not the kind of stock we'd normally expect, or we would have just shoved it out in the store. Let me see if I can find it. It took them 20 minutes. And they were like, oh, yeah, we found it in the bin.
Excellent. Excellent. In other news, could I please have a look through your bin? I feel as if there's like half. I feel as if it's going to be half a game store just in this bin. Allow me to take this black sack out of the store for you.
But I actually know somebody on Blue Sky who used to work quite high up at Game around the time, and was there around the time that they merged, that they were taken over by Sports Direct. And says, well, game management were bad. Sports Direct management are orders of magnitude worse.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
As if we're massively surprised by that one.
Yeah. But so yeah, I don't think they have jobs anymore, so they're probably fine. It's probably more your online game distributors that is going to be the issue, and maybe CEX.
I was going to say CEX, which is a shame because I like CEX because I get cheap games from there.
Oh God, I've never found a cheap game in there anymore.
They're great. They're great if you suddenly need urgently RAM of a different kind.
Yes, as we found out. you missed that.
I've also had success in finding CPUs and SSDs.
Yeah, bits and pieces. If you go in, there's always something you've never seen before, and you never knew it was released. Oh, there's
but anyway, back to the point.
Yeah, back to the point. Yeah. I mean, I think we all knew this was coming. But at the same time, it's disastrous for games conservation. It's disastrous for it's disastrous for everything, basically.
But at least we got some entertainment out of it because everyone has been.
Oh my God! Everyone dunked on Sony, because everyone remembers their "Let's Share a Game" big thing that they made.
Evercade recreated it with their cartridges.
Yeah.
Good for you, Evercade.
Good for you, Evercade. I will buy more of your stuff.
One of the things I find very funny, though, is like everyone goes like, Nintendo are the only good ones left. It's like, have you forgotten the whole game code thing?
Yep.
Game code. Don't get me wrong. There's still a version of like ownership in that because it's like, yes, you can still give it to someone and they then have to download it, but it still allows them to play it. But they're obviously working towards that all digital future already.
As we move towards the model of you will own nothing and have rights to nothing. I mean,
there are a few people who have done the if possessing isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing.
Exactly.
By the current definition, it technically isn't.
Yes, by definitions of manual. But we've already got. I mean, you mentioned Nintendo. Nintendo have taken it a step in a different direction, which is you will play the game how we want you to play it and no other way.
Oh God, yeah.
So it's all fun. It's all fun, everybody. Is there anybody that isn't the bad guy at the minute in video games? I'm just curious. No, there's no platform.
Well, arguably Steam.
No.
Just because I don't think... Well, okay. Hear me out a little bit. I don't think it's Steam's fault the Steam machines cost so much.
Isn't.
Because the thing you have to remember is if they sell that at a loss, people can just buy them and repurpose them for other things. So they've not got the kind of guarantee from the other console makers where you're locked into their ecosystem and they get further revenue from other things.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, no one's happy about the Steam machine prices, including Steam.
I know people who know people through work, and let me double check what I think they wanted to sell it for something like 30% more expensive than they wanted it to be.
It's roughly around it.
Roughly correct. Because the price of literally every component has skyrocketed over the past 12 months.
Because the big difference with how they're making the Steam machines to, say, consoles is the consoles have very standardized parts which they've, locked in contracts to be made for X amount of period of time. The Steam machines
It's off-the-shelf parts.
Yeah, well, it's because they were going to lock in once they knew the demand, but the problem with when they announced it meant that was too late.
Yep.
So,
Valve just got really unlucky with that. Because if the stupid AI bubble hadn't happened, it would have been really smart. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I know it's interesting because I've seen a lot of people complaining but Gabe makes millions. Why can't he subsidize it? Why should he, to a certain extent? Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, we all complain that the rich are too rich, get richer. At least with Steam, they're not working towards pleasing shareholders. They're just, look, we're just not going to make a loss because it doesn't make sense for us to do that.
Gabe actually does plow quite a lot of his personal money back into Valve.
Yeah. To a certain extent.
That's still not,
considering how much Valve makes.
It makes him a little less bad, but it's still not ideal.
Although Valve, if you're listening, if you could let Campo Santo please finish in the Valley of the Gods. It's been 9 years, dudes.
Good luck on that one.
It's been on hold since 2019. It's been fucking years. I'd like something after Firewatch from them. Let them do something that's not like trying to fix Half-Life Alyx and shit like that, please.
Yeah, good luck. One thing someone did bring up was it was quite interesting, the timing of this announcement, because I think there was a little bit of a war between companies about who announces what first between PlayStation and Take-Two Interactive. Because, as probably everyone in the world is already aware, GTA 6 also won't have a disc.
Yes, because
they announced first.
Yeah.
And what impresses me, so I know a guy that runs a video game store, and he's basically said, day one, I've had more pre-orders for this than I've had anything else. And so I've gone to my supplier and said, I need this many at the moment. And his supplier has gone back and gone, okay, well, the max we're willing to offer you is 10% of that. I was like, what? Why? It's like, that's as much as I'm allowed to sell you. So he's had to go back and go like, I'm sorry, but we may not be able to fill your pre-order, so we're not taking your money just yet. Whereas he's gone back to like, look, I've still got this much demand for pre-orders. They're willing to pay now. I can deposit that money for you. And they're still just going, no, we're not letting you have that many physical copies. It's like, what physical copies? You've got to print a box and a code on a sheet.
There's a lot of weird shit going on in the industry that doesn't make any sense at the moment.
But what?
Sadly.
Yeah, it's just such a weird thing. Like, there is a certain part of me that goes, at some point you would have had to have stopped disc manufacturing, because there is going to be a point those materials just aren't as readily available. While the shortages we're seeing in other components is more due to demand and manufacturing process, there will be at some point, actually, we're going to run out of the resources to make those components.
Yes, but what if we strip mined the entirety of Greenland for security reasons?
I don't know, ask the US.
Or what if we were actually any good at recycling all of the e-waste?
Somewhat more.
That'd be pretty good.
Yes, although there's still going to be some... There's still kind of like a loss of doing that. You can't 100% recycle it. There is eventually a tipping point where it is a case of you can't do it.
I mean, if you're talking about rare earths and things, then yes, there is. But quite a lot of the rare earth deposits that are in Europe and America haven't been touched because they have radioactive things next to them.
Indeed.
Hi, Cornwall.
Yes. It's like, we're not touching that because we'll irradiate half of the south of England.
Indeed.
Oh, no, it's already...
But while we think of that, let's get in the sea next to it. Do some surfing.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. It's just sinking anyway, so... But yeah, it's a weird one, because obviously, someone complained, this is the reason we should all move to PC. It's like, hang on, PC's already basically digital only.
And you still need to build the PCs. They still need those very expensive components.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of people I know who have said, like, I need to upgrade my PC, but I'm just not gonna, because I can't afford it. And if the upgrade is like, you need processor and RAM, then that's ludicrous.
Yeah. It's, I mean, basically, I think there does need to be some kind of a precedent for game preservation, but it's a bit of a difficult one because the rules you set for, if you have to set a universal rule, that's going to put smaller devs at much more disadvantage of creating anything that could blow up, because they have to invest it's more of an investment for a smaller dev than it is for a bigger dev.
But ideally, what you need is something like the National Archive to have a gaming. I mean, in the UK, there's a few different media archive centres. So ideally, it's like, you give a copy, both physical and digital, to one of these archives, and then it is preserved.
Can I just say at this point, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Yeah. I refuse.
But there still comes the issue of, that's all well and good, but let's take what I've forgotten the name of it. I really shouldn't. Sony's recent massive MMO failure.
Which one?
Oh, you actually need to specify.
the one that was released for 7 days and then all copies refunded.
Oh,
Concord,
that's it.
Concord, yeah.
Okay, sure, Concord had a physical edition. You can save the data, but it doesn't matter because the game's not playable. Even if you've preserved that game, there is no way to play it because of the way it's been designed and the server's been shut down.
I mean, there's the ongoing thing because the game preservation guys were defeated obviously recently, and things like games should be.
There has to be limits to it. So it depends on the nature of the game. I mean, but at the same time, if we look at something that has a massive, massive cultural impact, for example, if World of Warcraft went offline tomorrow.
Yeah, which, considering Xbox's current mood, could happen.
Yep. Do you consider about how much of a cultural impact World of Warcraft had?
Yeah.
Not being able to play it at all would be a massive loss because of the cultural impact it had. You can't even say, look at this is what we played back in the day, because you literally can't anymore.
No.
So there should be even if it's on a dev server somewhere, that there is a playable copy of this game on this particular server in a museum somewhere, fine. But there should be at least a fraction of it that is preserved.
I think with World of Warcraft, there has been fan efforts to make personal servers, which Blizzard have shut down as many as they can. That being said, and I know this for a fact, they have allowed universities to do ones for genuine like research purposes and such.
Yes.
So
they also gave a copy to, I forget which epidemiological laboratory it was, but the guys who were studying the corrupted blood event.
Yes.
They gave them a copy of that particular version of the game so that they could study the epidemiological impact using a copy of the game. But yeah, it's supposed to be on a closed air gapped system.
Yes, and like that's still it's a weird one because obviously then it's like, well, is that a true version of the game? And so there's the other arguments about, okay, are you having to save every version of the game as a record or history, or do you just save the best one? Which, for instance, Destiny 2 is shutting down. The game that you can play, Destiny 2 now, has none of the content from when it opened up. From when I played it when it launched. You cannot play any of that content anymore. Even if you play the latest version.
If I'm going to compare it to something, I'm going to compare it to old school Doctor Who. So, as quite a lot of you will probably be aware, quite a lot of the episodes from the 60s were wiped. There have been preservation efforts for decades trying to find these lost episodes. Now, every episode exists in some form. Some of these forms are just pictures and audio narration, but they exist. I think that if you are going to say art should be preserved, it should be preserved in some form. Saying it must be every version is ridiculous because that's completely unrealistic, but even if it's a university with a private server in a closed environment, the game is preserved in some fashion. It's the fact that these things disappear completely into the ether and we never are able to touch them again that I have a personal objection to, and I think that's the same for a lot of people.
And I do agree with that. The problem then comes on whose onus is it to keep that? Because, like you said, a university can have a private server with that stuff on, but then whose responsibility is to keep that running? What happens if, they have a catastrophic, I don't know, EMP storm where they lose all their data and then it's gone?
Well, I do know that.
Or your Sega or another company's like that, and you just mislay it. There's stuff that's in a box somewhere and you've just lost it.
Square Enix had a problem where a bunch of things were lost when the tsunami happened and a bunch of their offices got flooded.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that was where our archives were. That's nobody's fault. That's the act of God. Yeah.
It is, but then people still play this.
If you're going to talk about legislation, then it should be you have to make a reasonable effort to make sure that this survives in some form. If this is literally just code, it survives.
Well, I'm making a noise there, mainly because at this point I would like to invoke my example of what not to do.
Okay, go.
With this, which is the thing we've discussed a couple of times on this show and LMC Cast and everything, and it's a game that we've played on stream and that we enjoy, or enjoyed, which is Ubisoft's The Crew. Is a great example of this, because that is a situation where you had a game, it was, it had, a story mode, yes. Wasn't massively anything to write home about, but it was enjoyable, and it had sequels, and they wanted to have a greater emphasis on those sequels. And would you believe it, that in terms of online, these pesky people were still playing it, and it had steady numbers online, constant numbers online, like a decade later for this racing game, and people kept wanting to play it. So what did they do? Well, we're taking the servers down. Well, that bloody sucks. still, at least we've got the opportunity to just play the story mode and just drive around in our own time. Hey, it sucks we're not going to be able to play against anybody else, but just be able to get in the car, do all the stuff, and just drive across America, which was always just like ridiculously fun. It's like, hey, can you not sleep at night? Me and Vija both did this, by the way, which was just like, hey, I'm just going to get in the car, just have the music on, I'm just going to just drive across America for the night. It was just really good, just fun. Just do that. But nope, we're also going to make it so you can't play the game at all in offline mode.
We're going to take away your
license. Take it around completely. We're going to change it so that you can't actually access the game at all. Not just the servers, the game access at all. If you've got a disc version of the game, yeah, you'll be able to play it. But if you've got it on Steam, like most people do, hey, it exists there still. See Steam's thing about, oh yes, you can re-download it, yes, but you can't play it. You can't even start it. And there was no reason to do that, to basically render the game inoperable as an entity, to stop people enjoying the offline mode, other than, but we'd much rather you play something else, so we're going to take that purchase away from you now.
Oddly enough, this is getting to be more and more of a problem with mobile games. And
mobile games are a wasteland.
Yeah, but okay. Again, me and Turbo mentioned this, that in one of the Summerfest, Square Enix announced the first Final Fantasy 2.5D game, which is like, okay. And I watched it, I was like, hang on a sec, these are the characters from Brave Exvius. And it turns out, they're remaking the first part of that game as a slightly different RPG, which, okay, kind of nice, but you've changed how the game works. But okay, at least you're preserving the story and some of the elements of it. But then it's like, well, okay, but are you going to do the rest of it? How much of it are you, keeping? How much are you cutting it? It's almost like you're trying to rewrite history. And it's like, I'm not sure. And, even with stuff like the Final Fantasy Tactics recent remaster, is they've taken out all the new content they added for the PSP version because, we didn't like it. We wanted it to be exactly like the PS1 version. It's like, okay, but what about the people that enjoyed the War of the Lions additional content? Like, are you just saying they shouldn't be right?
Yes.
But there's also things like Near Reincarnation, which is a vital part of the story, has absolutely vital connecting tissue between Drakengard and Nier Automata. Can you play it? No.
Hey, Kingdom Hearts, where they've had an entire game get cancelled, which is meant to connect 3 and 4. And it's like, okay, so how is that going to affect the storyline? It's like, we're just going to release a Word document with the story on, maybe.
So this is like Final Fantasy 15, where the actual golden ending of that was meant to be released as DLC. And what format did it end up in? A novel?
Well, this is the thing.
Is the novel available outside of Japan?
Nope. And they cut the 2 DLC I was looking forward to the most. Because the guy left. I believe I mentioned it before. It's one of the ones I will praise Capcom, because when they shut down Mega Man X Dive, they basically went, cool, look, we know a load of you guys enjoyed it, but it wasn't worth keeping the servers open. What we can do, though, is just release an offline version that has all the content, other than the crossover content, because licensing. Fair enough. And we'll just do an offline version. And you can buy it, and all the content's there, and it's just available there. We're never going to update it again. It's just going to be there for you to buy. If you really enjoyed the game, sorry, we can't offer you it for free. We kind of have to, make the cost of redoing the entire development into an offline game there. But hey, that mobile game is now just available for you to play on Steam. And I think PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely
Ubisoft are looking at that and just like rubbing their temples and just going, I can't wrap my head around this concept.
And that's the thing, like, okay.
Despite the fact that I've just been ragging on Square Enix, the Final Fantasy XIV team have actually done quite a lot of work to make sure that if the Final Fantasy servers do go offline at some point, it will be possible to relatively easily convert it into having an offline mode.
Hey, future-proofing.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, Square Enix are very 50-50 because, you've got, let's go back to Kingdom Hearts side. It's like, great, we've got the 1.5 and 2.5 HD remakes, which is like, great, so we've preserved 1, Chain of Memories, 2, what was the other? Oh, and Birth by Sleep. Great. Hang on, what about Recoded, and what about Fractional Days? Oh, they're just movies now, we didn't like those. So, hang on. Like, I know people didn't particularly like those games, but that's partially because the DS wasn't a very good controller for 3D games.
No.
But they're not bad games in themselves. I feel like that's them basically half-arsing it. The same is true with the Pixel remasters from 1 to 6. It's like, they've gone halfway house and gone, yeah, we'll remake them, but we're only including the content from the original games. And it's like, well, hang on. In all the GBA ports, you added loads of extra stuff. Yeah, sod that. It's like, why?
And all of those pretty 3D cutscenes that people added in the PlayStation versions, no, we're not including those.
Yeah. But from my perspective, the more important is you added gameplay stuff. Like Final Fantasy 1, you added 3 new bosses, all that gave you really nice rewards in the PSP versions. It's like, why aren't you adding those? Especially like the iconic one, like bringing Gilgamesh into it. Oh, we don't want to because it wasn't in the original game and we wanted to be pure. And it's like, then why didn't you do that for the previous one? It seems so double standards.
Can I?
And like even go on, sorry.
Not you.
I was going to say, even Konami, where okay, the MGS Collection 1 was a bit shit, especially on PC. But the fact that Konami has gone, look, we've given you the framework. Feel free to go and do whatever mod you want to make it playable to your standard. But if nothing else, we've made sure these games are now available in the best format we can get them from our side. And the fact that has led to them going, and yeah, we'll release MGS4, which no one has been able to play unless you own a PS3 copy, is just, it's great. Yes, there's still a load more stuff Konami could do.
I'm going to have a shout out here to the guys who have spent weeks, months, and years buying old Japanese cell phones to extract the data to reconstruct from scratch a bunch of old Japanese cell phone games, including a version of a Xenosaga side game, which everybody thought had been lost for 20 years.
Oh, there's loads of them as well. Like, I know there's a Doom one as well. Doom phone game.
They're doing God's work, I think.
And there's another...
Yeah, go on.
Oh, God, sorry. There's another project that's being done. So I follow the Donkey Kong 64 randomizer community. And they're in response to a really shit compiler port, are making their own because they've been working on the randomizer so long. They know the code inside out. So they're making their own compiler, which, first of all, will be technically legally fine because it requires you to provide your own copy of the game. But secondly, they're making it to make sure that it's future compatible with mods and stuff. And it's like, if your community is doing this much work, give them the respect they deserve.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in there something else for you guys to think about, which is Facebook games and social platform games, which are the same bracket. Allow me to rag on Ubisoft again before we wrap this one up with another example, which is, and obviously we've just had Black Flag Resynced,
which has been interesting.
Which is a topic in and of itself. which we won't get into today or probably next time out either. But there's a great example of that in terms of Facebook games being lost to time. With the Assassin's Creed franchise, which is Project Legacy, which was a really nice, heavy, narrative-driven game, which was around for, I think, like 3 years, maybe 4 years. It tied in with Brotherhood when that was out. There was a bunch of interconnectivity. You could do stuff in the Facebook game and it would affect Brotherhood specifically. And I think the reverse as well. So, I mean, basically you shared the assassins you were trading in Brotherhood with the Facebook game. So you could send them off and do stuff and you could get them resources within the game. It was really nice. But one of the big things of that was that because it was so narrative driven in terms of, hey, you unlocked this bit of story and that bit of story, there's so much lore and world building between the assassins and also Abstergo at that time and the Templars. There's so much world building that was done by that is just gone. It doesn't exist anywhere else. There was like all this background information about what's going on and why the situation is at the time between Brotherhood and Revelations or whatever it's called, and everything else, it's just gone.
And one of the worst parts about that is that's not actually entirely the developer's fault, because I know this from experience, a lot of it was down to the fact you had to keep Facebook's API up to date, and that meant you had to have a dev team constantly working on that game.
Yeah, and as a result, because there was unlocks that was specifically due to having the connection via, I mean, it was done via Uplay as the middleman, obviously, but there's stuff in Brotherhood that you could not get anymore, even though Brotherhood still exists. You just can't get it anymore because you require the game. But it's just like all this story about, including stuff about characters that, through character like Rebecca and Sean and everybody else, the background stuff. Some stuff about Desmond too, and Subject 16. All those guys, just like it doesn't exist anywhere else, and it just lost to time. Skyblaze mentioned the Doctor Who example, and it's perfect in terms of the example, because at the time, the wiping of those tapes and the loss of those episodes, it didn't mean anything, because there was no expectation for there to be permanence of anything entertainment or media. It was just a thing that was
except film, I think.
Except film, but even then a little bit. Yeah. It was just like there was no. It was like you use it or lose it, essentially, in back then. But
TV in particular was seen as shallow media that wasn't actually art. It was just entertainment.
Exactly. And yet you fast forward 20 years, and that's just like, it's cultural vandalism. And we're not there yet, because I think you need to get to the point where you, as you mentioned World of Warcraft, you need to lose something major, I think, for things to change. And as soon as we do, it'll tip it over, and then there'll be a bit more of a association with the loss of video games, the loss of the art form and the story and the thing that connected and entertained us. Then that would be seen as cultural vandalism, but we're not there yet.
But it might be happening sooner than you think.
But it might be happening sooner than you think.
I was going to say, because some of the stuff John Carmack said recently is very interesting, with, again, the recent news. But more importantly, one of the comments he said was, with all this news, QuakeCon is coming in less than a month's time, and it's supposed to be this 40-year celebration of the founders of id Software, none of whom work for id Software anymore, are getting together to talk about how proud they are of how the company, even though they've gone their separate ways, the fact that it's still a big thing, and they were still they've still recently had a great success in the Doom: The Dark Ages,
Mhm.
and now, what are they turning up to? They don't even know anymore because
they might well get to the con, open it up, and find out there's nothing inside. Maybe just a piece of paper with a code.
That is potentially it, because, you know, for the last 5 years, every QuakeCon has released a new remaster of a game. We've had, I think it was Heretic and Hexen last year. There was Quake 2, which was desperately in need of a remaster. You've had the Doom repackaging of all the early Doom games. You've had, before that, Quake 1 and Doom 64. All of these have been just because, you know, they still have that tech to do it. And while, yes, a lot of it is also down to the fact that fans have done a great job of still, you know, toying with these things and adding to them, it's because you've still had that core in software that all of this has been possible. And there are plenty of other games that still need that treatment. I would love to see Wolfenstein 3D and Spear of Destiny and all the mods for that get some love. I can't see that happening anymore.
I think part of the problem here is that the mainstream media don't recognise video games as art. I mean, how many articles do you see from the mainstream media mentioning video games which start with some bollocks like the video games have come a long way since Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, Pong, or Tetris. It's one of the three.
Yeah, it's like it's not the same thing. It has, yeah. But you don't seem to actually emotionally accept this.
It's been over 40 years. You may not have noticed.
You may not have noticed that it's making more for the British economy than movies,
almost anything else. Yeah.
Anyway,
part of the,
So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there. But we invite you guys who are listening into this, if you have the opportunity to drop a comment on any of the things that platforms that we're talking about, please do so. I'd be interested to hear your particular opinions on this. But it's a debate that's not going to go away. Definitely minds need to be changed in places, because we're already losing stuff and we're only going to lose more. And as we said, it's bad now. In a few years down the line, we may look back on this time period and realize, what on earth were they thinking for all the stuff that is no longer here? Thank you to Urtheart and Skyblaze for joining me for this spirited debate.
Thank you for having me.
Don't think it was much of a debate. I think it was a
it was a tense agreement. Anyway, we'll see you very soon. Take care wherever it is you are. See you soon. Bye-bye.
This was a Last Minute Continue production. For more, please check lastminutecontinue.com.